Hi, welcome to Giangie's Kitchen. I am Giangie and today we are going to prepare a roasted Cornish game hen with a whiskey cream pan sauce. So see you in a second. Hi, the Cornish game hen is one of the wonderful little, it's smaller than a chicken. It has lots of flavor. Now unfortunately the one I have today is a little bit bigger than I usually get because I didn't have a choice at the store. So we're going to be splitting this in half. But this is very simple. It only requires some salt and pepper, herbe de Provence, which is a mix of rosemary, thyme, some oregano and lavender, as well as some butter, salt and pepper. And then once we're going to put it on a very hot oven, which I have it going right now at 450, we're going to roast it for around 40 minutes. And when we bring it out, we are going to make a pan sauce with the shallots, the mustard, the cream, and the Scotch whiskey, which is kind of fun. So when you prepare this, first thing we need to do is cut the Cornish hen in half, and I'm going to show you how it's done. Alrighty, my cute little Cornish hen. Look how pretty this little baby is. So what we're going to do is cut the breastbone and then cut the back. So we're going to just really split it in the middle. So here I go. Now make sure that your knife is nice and sharpened. You kind of go down. Okay, just flip the puppy over, cut it again. Now make sure that your knife is nice and sharpened. Make sure you're not afraid of using it either. So here we go, cut it down. See, there's just the bone and bam, it's done. So what I do, turn the baby over, some frustration, get it out. There you go. Now you just got this puppy, I know, isn't that funny? So you want it just nice and open. Now, there's one more thing you could do. You can cut this back and take all those bones out, which I am going to do. So if you want to stick around, you're not afraid, stick around. But this is what I'm going to do right now. Let's just press it down nicely. Okay, there is one side. Okay, I like to color the baby, but this is it's a little Turkish here. So this side is done. I don't like all the backbone right here, so I am going to take that off as well. And it's the same thing. You kind of go alongside. Because it's a Cornish hen, it's a lot easier to break. So make sure that your knife is nice and sharp. Press it down and boom, it's done. Now, this shall not go to waste, okay? Make sure that you use the backbone. This part here, keep it freezing. This is excellent when you make a soup. You can just put it in and all the meat still around it gives a great flavor. So, perfect. This part is done. Okay, now we're ready to the next step. That's me preparing him to put him in the oven. So, because we have to make a sauce, the wine sauce, and the sauce is to be made inside of this because we're going to actually deglaze it with the whiskey and with the cream. So I want to make sure that you understand not to use a Pyrex or a glass, but anything with metals, enamel. I have Le Creuset, I love it, I've been using it for years. So as you can tell, this is 30-year-old because it still has an old scrapping on the back. So use this. So I have my Cornish hen half, completely clean. I am going to place them in here. Actually, what I'm going to do first, I am going to put some salt and pepper on the back side of it because they do need a little bit of flavor. So very generous, don't be shy. Salt and pepper on this, it gives it an extra little flavor. Okay, and then you take it very nicely, you put them over inside of your little baking pan. There you go. Voila, all done. And then you take your butter. Now the recipe's on my blog, so I'll put it there for you. You just like a good quarter of a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more, to it. And put it over, put in all the crevices and whatnot. And the Cornish hen are not as fat. There is no fat to them. So you make sure that you just do it nicely covered with a lot of wonderful butter. Okay, as you can see, I'm very generous because I don't put anything underneath this, so all this will gently melt underneath to it. Let's just finish it up. There you go. Voila. And then some more salt and pepper. Salt, 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 salt. Now always put the salt from a high level to it because it doesn't clump. If you put it closer, it will be clumpy. If you put it higher, it will not. A trick that I was taught a couple of summers ago. Same thing with pepper. Now you be generous, or be less, whatever you want to with the pepper. And then the herbe de Provence, which I should have opened a second ago. And if you have herbe de Provence or any herbs, make sure that they're always on a dark cabinet. You don't want to leave them out, okay? Because they lose their beautiful greenery and they change color. See, as you can see, I've been quite generous with this. Just put it all over it. Boom. And then, last steps, my olive oil. Put just a little bit on it. This is it. That's all it takes. Ready to go in the oven. See how pretty? 40 to 45 minutes. See you in a bit. Bye. Alrighty, so now then our roasted Cornish hen are perfectly crisp, as you can see. By the way, poke them throughout the cooking process a little bit, and also turn the pan. I have an old oven, unfortunately, so I must do so. If you have a convention oven, then you are just free and clear on that. So I am going to pull them out of here with a little bit of help, and also not to burn myself. And I'm going to put them on a serving tray that I have right there. Okay, look how gorgeous those look. Oh, yummy. I'm going to cover them for a second with some aluminum foil, and I'm going to bring this to the stove. Alrighty, now we have our little pan back over the stove. I'm going to add into it our butter in it. So you can see there's all this little wonderful debris. Leave them in there. They're great. They'll make a perfect sauce. So you add that in. You turn it on to a medium low because I am going to actually have to add the whiskey. So every time you add whiskey or any liquid alcohol, you need to make sure that it is nice and low so you don't have any fire hazard coming at you. So let me hang on to this, make sure that this melts. Just putting it down. Okay, our butter is melting. I'm scraping up a little bit of the parts here on the bottom. Holding the pan. Alrighty, so now we're going to add the whiskey. So I'm going to bring that completely low. And what I was taught, you always put it in the middle of the pan, so if anything happens, it doesn't catch on fire with the flame. And slowly, and you can see, so just do a little bit at a time. I think it will be my advice to you, and you can start scraping a little bit. Okay, just a little bit more, and then I add the rest of it, always in the middle. And I have a half a cup because I want to make a lot of sauce on this tonight. Alrighty, and just pretty much scrape up any bits on the pan with the whiskey. Now, as you know, as soon as they cook, it evaporates. So let it evaporate as much as you possibly can. And even if you have children, this is okay because the alcohol will burn. So don't fear on that part. So here we go. I got a couple of more bits and pieces over there to melt down. There we go. Alrighty, all our little bits have been dislodged from the bottom. Now it's turn to put our shallots in. And I cut them very slightly, very thin. Increase the heat a little bit. And just put your shallots in and just kind of work them a little bit to make them nice and tender. I'll just cook for a minute or so now. Alrighty, now it's time to add our Worcestershire sauce. Our mustard. I love mustard, and this is so wonderful. This sauce right there. Perfect. Increase the heat back on a little bit to medium high and dissolve. And just bring it to a boil. which is easy to do when you have a large pan like this. So you always have to keep an eye on it. You can't detach yourself from the stove. Okay, now it's boiling. I am going to add the heavy cream to it. Yummy. Okay, as well as the lemon juice. There you go. Perfect. Oops. There you go. Mixing up the whole sauce. Voila. Doesn't this look delicious? Alrighty, now time to taste it. Perfect. It just needs a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Not much, just enough to give it a nice little zing. And my sauce is ready. Let me taste it one more time. As you can see, everything got this large, so all the juices from the Cornish hen were on the bottom of this pan are all being picked up and cooked with. So now we just have to taste. Perfect. Let's turn it off and bring it back to put it together with the chicken. Alrighty, so here we are, our little sauce is done. Our Cornish hen look absolutely adorable. They'll cook through, there was no juice left on the pan, on the little dish here. So now what are we gonna do? We're gonna take the sauce and spoon it over. Just like this. And you can put it down, you can put it around it, whatever you prefer to. And there you go. Just do all around it. It's kind of fun. Now if you wanted to plate it, I can also show you how to do that very simple. So just first, let me go get a plate. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to plate it. Now you can plate it as I had it before for 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. You just put them on the dish. And now just remember, this is with the Cornish hen, but you can also do the exactly same recipe with the whole chicken cut up in pieces. So just for you to know. So here we go. A half of the Cornish hen is usually for a person, which is excellent because everything is smaller. And then you just take a little bit of the sauce and put it over it. There you go, a little bit on the side. Okay, so we put a little bit of sauce, and now you just take a little bit of parsley. If you have chives, you could do so, and just kind of put it a little bit all over the plate so it gives it a nice little finished touch to it. And here it is, roasted Cornish game hen with the whiskey cream pan sauce. Enjoy it. Now the recipe, it is on my blog and the link will be underneath it. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And if you like it, please share it with your friend. Thank you so very much. I am Janji, and I'm so happy you were here today with me. See you next time. Bye.